So I thought I'd make a quick video to share my perspective and my experiences so far as an occupational therapist. If you don't know, I'm a pediatric home health occupational therapist. So I thought I would just um, make a video really quick and give y'all some updates on what I've experienced so far, how my company is handling it. I know the impact and the implications of this virus and everything that's going on right now is different for everyone, but I just wanted to share my perspective as a medical professional and as an OT, and what I'm experiencing right now. Aside from all the social, political, and economic impact that this virus is having, I just thought I would share my perspective that I'm experiencing right now as a pediatric OT. And so, as of yesterday, we were informed. We had an emergency, not an emergency, but we had a last minute Skype meeting, and we were told that we would be moving to the majority of our visits being done via telehealth, virtual visits. If you don't know what telehealth is. So we were told that if we feel safe and comfortable and we don't have symptoms, the family doesn't have symptoms, it's at our discretion and we are allowed to do one home visit a day. Maybe for families that don't have access to the internet or don't have an email or can't use telehealth for some reason. But it's really at our discretion from what I understand at this point. But up until now, I have been doing home visits. I haven't really seen a major shift in cancellations until yesterday, and they were really mostly unrelated. For the most part, I was still going about my regular day. I mean, I was obviously sanitizing everything and, washing my hands a lot more and being much more careful. But other than that, I was still doing home visits. Nothing changed. Last Friday, I did evaluations. Last Friday was when the panic started to set in a little bit at the house we were at. But for the most part, things have been the same up until yesterday, so Tuesday, the 17th. We had the Skype meeting saying, they're in the process of getting everything ready to prepare for us doing telehealth visits. Now, what does that mean for me as an OT? Luckily, from everything that we've been told and from everything that I have read, our license and our board allow us to practice and bill for telehealth in the state of Texas, which is where I am. So I'm glad that we will be able to bill. I think PT can provide telehealth services, but they're not able to bill, so they're not going to get reimbursed if PT does telehealth. But, implications for me is that one, I'm going to be getting paid less because I'm not going to be driving. I get reimbursed for mileage for how much I drive. So I will see probably a decrease in my paychecks. And there's going to be a lot of work up front. So in order to provide telehealth, we have to get a signed consent to be able to provide those telehealth services. So I know they're trying to figure out a way for us to use like electronic DocuSign or some other media that can do online electronic signatures. So we have to send that out to every family, and then we have to update every child's therapy plan to include telehealth. So until we can even start doing telehealth, we have to update their therapy plan and say, if they're getting OT 4 times a month or twice a week or whatever it is, we have to say those are going to be provided via telehealth. So up front, there's going to be a lot of work. It is Wednesday morning, so I'm about to start, letting parents know. I didn't text anyone yesterday because I was just kind of overwhelmed, so I'm about to send out texts and maybe call a couple of my families. I have Spanish-speaking families, so I've already had interpreters reach out to them. And everyone, I love my team. I'm so grateful for my team. Everyone's really working together. The other thing I want to say is that I am very grateful for my current employer and for them taking these steps and these measures. We are a medical professional. We're part of this family and this child's healthcare team. But at the same time, we're not an absolute necessity. So, I didn't want to be part of the problem. I didn't want to be part of spreading or putting my families or myself at risk if we don't really need to. For the most part, most of these children and most of these babies and families will be okay if they don't get their therapy. We're not an essential provider, and I'm not trying to say that OT and PT and speech therapy aren't, necessary. They are, but in kind of like a crisis situation like this, you have to kind of pick and choose. And I felt like it was starting to be irresponsible to go from house to house every single day, not knowing, because, signs and symptoms don't show up. They can be delayed for 2 weeks. So, I'm very grateful for our company. Even last week, they had a screening questionnaire for us to screen every single family before we went to the house. So if we did need to cancel or reschedule, I have talked to other colleagues that work for other home health companies, and she said by far the one that we work for is, keeping everyone informed, trying to make changes, and trying to take the necessary steps in order to keep ourselves, their employees, and all the families that we work for safe. So I am very grateful for that. I'm not sure. They said they don't know how long we're going to be doing telehealth. So it's unforeseen. I'm debating if I am going to do any home visits at all. The enrollment process for enrolling new kids into therapy, has to be done face-to-face. You can't do a physical assessment via video. I have to physically be there to assess the child. Although OTs can complete evaluations via telehealth, the assessment that we use has to be done in person. We can't ask the parent to do that. They don't have the tools, all the supplies in order to complete the assessment and qualify a child for therapy. So that'll be interesting. I'm not sure how we're going to do that. We might try and do some of those at the office, but it's unclear, if I don't feel safe, I'm not going to go to a house, But so that's where I am at this point on this Wednesday morning, dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic fiasco of 2020. I've set up a little makeshift office here in my guest bedroom. I was trying to put my phone over there so the pillows are all messed up. My husband's also working from home right now. He started working from home on Friday, and luckily he's able to work from home based on his job. But, I haven't ever used telehealth. I've never been trained in telehealth, so I'm hoping today we have a meeting a Skype meeting at 11:30 where we will get all this information and figure out how to do it. Our company does use parent coaching models, so it should be relatively easy to continue that, to be able to coach the parents on the therapy that they're doing. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Making sure that I keep up my productivity. I mean, productivity is probably going to be really easy because I don't have to drive in between houses, so I can probably knock out all my visits fairly quickly during the day. But obviously there's going to be complications in terms of parents figuring out how to access the telehealth app and emailing and all the logistical things. And like I said, all the upfront work of getting telehealth on every child's therapy plan. Like I said, I'm so glad that my company is taking these steps to keep us safe. I know not everyone has that, and I think in different settings, allied health services, the PTOT speech in a different setting, it might be more critical than it is in the home health setting that I work in. But I'm, like the NICU and acute care, where these people are actually sick. But for home health, especially, adult or geriatric home health companies, I have no idea what steps any of them are taking. I don't work with the geriatric population, but I really, really hope that they are taking steps to not continue with unnecessary home visits with the older population, because I think that would be irresponsible. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, I have no idea if other home health companies are taking the same measures, taking any sort of different steps. I'm really not sure. I know we do work with a lot of families that have nurses, and those are essential. Kids need their medications. They need to be monitored. And I had already canceled this week, even before all of this telehealth happened. I had already canceled visits with my families with children that have cardiovascular or respiratory conditions or anything that they're more immune compromised or more more likely to be vulnerable. So I had already canceled those just to be safe. But other than that, I did, on a plus side, I watched Frozen. Frozen 2 was released on Disney Plus early, I guess, because of all this. And so I watched that last night. And there were so many, the whole movie was like a metaphor for what's going on right now. I mean, into the unknown. We are definitely into the unknown right now, people. I don't want to sound cheesy, but hopefully all of you are safe and sound and you have enough supplies to get you through this crazy time. We don't know how long it's going to last, but I think I will continue to give y'all updates on my perspective as an OT. So yeah, I'll keep checking in. I'll let you know how this telehealth thing goes. I was supposed to actually get trained for telehealth at the end of the month anyways, so I will keep you informed and see how that goes. Again, I hope all of y'all are safe and sound at home, or your employers are taking the steps necessary to keep you safe. Do what you need to do to keep yourself and your family safe. To a certain extent, don't go crazy. Stop hoarding all the toilet paper, people. Okay, well, I better get to work, and I'll check in when I can. Bye. So it's the end of the first day of telehealth and working from home. I already had to get out of the house. Came with Will to play some golf. Now I would say we're still practicing social distancing rules. I feel like golf is one of the sports that allow social distancing. Would you agree?
Huh?
I mean, I'm only interacting with you and one other person, so.
I feel like I always exercise what is now known as social distancing.
Yeah, I mean, coronavirus hasn't really affected our social life, which is a little sad.
You have social life?
Now I do. I'm like more social now.
Yeah. Hello.
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 So yeah, it is the end of day 1. Started working from home today. I actually did one visit. We are allowed to do one community visit if we choose to. So I did do that, and I was already going stir crazy in my house. But I mean, granted, we just were doing like Skype meetings for about 3.5 hours, which can be kind of tedious, but I mean, that's what we're going to be doing if we're doing telehealth. So yeah, I was already feeling being trapped. So I don't normally come out to golf, but I decided to come out with Will and his friend. They're both working from home, so they wanted to get out of the house. And I still feel like we're keeping social distance rules, like I said. They're way over there, I'm over here. It's only a group of 3. That is less than 10. It's pretty nice out. It's been raining a lot. Yeah, I think we're going to officially start rolling everything out tomorrow for the telehealth. Let you know how that goes. But so far, made it through the first day. It's ever changing. We're into the unknown. Into the unknown. Okay, see you tomorrow. Duck. Don't look at me. Back off. Got a nice little river over here. Look at those baby ducks. Baby ducks. The sounds of nature.